welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jamie. Today we are going to be talking about a trilogy that I just finished. We are going to be talking about To All the Boys I Loved Before trilogy by Lara Jean. I just finished the last one, Always and Forever by Lara Jean. For those who are not familiar with this series, this is a young adult romance. Also, the first one dealing with fake dating. The second one, not so much. The last one is more like a kind of like a slice of life thing going through the whole year. Each of them are over the span of a year. I also did want to mention before you guys continue watching this video, this is a spoiler review video. This is going to be my first one that I give for you guys. If you guys want to see non-spoiler reviews of these books, then I did them a couple of times throughout this year. I did start them this year, so I would go back as far as January. You shouldn't have to go back further than that. But I did just finish this last one this week for June, so I haven't had a monthly review of this one yet. But I would like to still make this for you guys, wrapping up the whole trilogy. Or if you guys just want to hear my opinions about it, you guys can keep watching. It's completely up to you. I'm just letting you know beforehand, there will be spoilers. I will be talking about a few key points in the plot, a few characters you're going to meet later on in the books who become a crucial part of this. It's going to be one big spoiler. So if you don't want those, don't watch the video. But watch the video later. Starting off the video with the very first book, To All the Boys I Loved Before. You guys have never heard of these books. This trilogy is about a girl named Lara Jean. She, in her middle school years, always had crushes on these boys. I think we had 5 boys where she had crushes on them, and she wanted to get over them. She had crushes on all of them, and she decided to close the chapter by writing them a letter of what she thought about them. Well, you know, she thought of them, what she liked about them, moments that she adored, everything that she thought about them, and put them in a hat box in her closet and just kind of forgot about it. But it was some of her most prized possessions. Well, at the beginning of this school year, her letters get mailed out and chaos starts happening. So going into this, I didn't know what to expect. I did not know what to expect from the series at all because I've heard so much about it. I love Lara Jean's writing. It is some of the binges, how to phrase this, hang on. It is some of the most bingeable writing I probably have ever come across. I read each of these books in a day, if not a day and a half. They were so easy to read. These books in particular, I love a young adult romance if it's done right. This one, I love how it started off. We start off at the beginning of the year, and we go through, we realizing that, you know, she has 2 sisters. She doesn't have a mother in the picture. It's just them and their dad. And her sister's getting ready to go start her year of college in Scotland. Her sister's going off, it's just going to be her and her sister Kitty and her dad. When we start off, and she realizes, she didn't even realize that her letters got mailed out until Peter, one of the guys that she had a crush on, he comes up to her and he's like, you know, got this letter from you. You really think these things about me? I don't do this. And she's just like, oh my God, this cannot be happening. I gotta tell you, I would be just as embarrassed as Lara Jean was dealing with this situation. It's like nothing more embarrassing than having your middle school thoughts pushed on somebody that you kind of quit having feelings for like years ago. So I can only imagine. I think it's funny when she kind of ropes Peter in all on her own, and I'm laughing because I would have never done that. If I had a crush on my sister's ex-boyfriend, I think the last thing I would want to do is roping someone else in to make them jealous. Here's the thing, it was already iffy about it, but I kept continuing, and I'm glad I did. I really did enjoy the rest of the book, with some of the things we're going to talk about. I just didn't see that happening at all. I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you rope in someone that you used to have a crush on to make your now crush jealous when he just got done being in a relationship with your older sister? So that kind of confused me, and I let that go over a time period. But then the whole thing with Peter's like, do you want to keep up the charade? You know, I can fake be your boyfriend and we can make it, you know, a contract deal, and they make this little contract up. That was cute. I gotta admit, that was cute. Just that whole situation. I'm gonna quit thinking about that because I'm just gonna keep reverting back to it. Going forward, we get some drama with the sisters once we realize that Kitty was being mean. Kitty overall as a character she reminds me a lot of my sister. It's like the sarcastic but also very, very loving, very caring. They kind of hide it a lot better. That's what Kitty reminds me of. She reminds me a lot of my sister. So, but I just am amazed at how much Lara Jean just takes the comments and not like think twice about it. She's like, okay, that was a little mean, but oh well. The whole deal with the antique visit that Peter takes her on, I thought that was super cute too. It's like, you know, taking a road trip with somebody that you didn't think you'd ever take a road trip with. I thought that was really, really cute. And then we start getting into the stuff that happens near the end of the book, and then that's where things start getting a little cray-cray. After everything that happens over this, Peter and her don't realize that they're actually falling for each other and that, you know, they're turning into girlfriend-boyfriend. Well, Josh starts getting closer to Lara Jean too, which is what she wanted anyway. He wanted to help her kind of, you know, deal with Josh. And then we start hitting some fun times. So they go to a ski thing for school, and some stuff happen. We get a video out, and sends the wrong type of message to almost everybody. She ends up hiding it from her dad. That whole thing was just a bad idea. But, you know, thinking it'll blow over, things like that don't blow over easily. So that was something to deal with. And then we do with the whole thing with Josh trying to kiss her and everything, and then we hop over to Christmas where Margot's back, and then she learns that Josh tried to kiss her, and Lara Jean had feelings for him, and they're all having a fight at Christmas time. It was such a good Christmas. So not only is Lara Jean hurt that, you know, the video got out to her dad, but also her and Margot are in a bad place at the moment. Her and Peter are in the bad place in the moment. Her and Josh kind of even out, realizing that nothing's just going to happen. And really, we don't see a lot of him in the next two books, which is interesting, but makes sense. It makes sense. I overall, I have to say, it's a very, very drama-filled story, but it's good. It's realistic. It's not like unrealistic things that would happen. This is unfortunately drama that would unfold if you just hit a couple of things or tried to do things that you just shouldn't do. So, loved it. That was a 4.75. It was really, really good. Next, we moved on to P.S. I Still Love You. This one I read a little more recently. I think I read this one for April. I could be wrong, but April sounds about right. Reading this one, we start off with her trying to remedy things with Peter, so we end up giving him a letter. Go figure, that's how the whole thing started in the first place. This book became very interesting because I do agree with what Lara Jean was dealing with. This book mostly revolved around the fact of Jen still being in the picture. Jen is Peter's ex-girlfriend. So the whole thing with Jen starts happening where Peter's trying to, you know, date Lara Jean and be there for her, but he's also still trying to be there for Genevieve. And I do have to admit, I would have been just as upset as Lara Jean was if I was dealing with that situation. Like, you two are done. You guys should be done. You should be done trying to treat her like a girlfriend. Like, you'll drop everything, literally everything, a date with her, a game or whatever, to literally go hang out with her and make sure she's okay. I'll admit, first time, maybe. Okay, if it was really, really important. Second time, not so much. Okay, don't do it again. But we were doing this like 3, 4, 5 different times, and I'd be mad. I would admit, I would be mad. if that was happening to me. So I understand Lara Jean's frustration in this, and then she finally says she's had enough. I agree with that. I would have had enough. So I was like, go girl, do someone who appreciates your time. And this book is also where we start getting more into, I believe it was a nursing home. You know, she's starting to create dances, started, livening up the place more. Now that her sister's gone, she kind of took over as being a volunteer over there. And she starts planning this big dance. I thought it was super cute. And then we get a new character in here. Someone got his letter late. He just got it in this book. And I'm going to tell you, he was my favorite character. Yeah, it was John McLaren. John McLaren was the one who kind of got his letter late. It's like, I kind of just got it and sent her a letter back. And then they start, talking again. And turns out his grandmother goes to the nursing home that she's working at. So that's kind of how they start hanging out more. And she makes some friends over there. But also her and John start getting closer. And to be honest, I was rooting for John the whole time. I kind of got tired of Peter from book 1. I didn't connect with them as much. I thought John was a lot better for Lara Jean. So when the end of the book happened, I was not happy. I was not happy at all. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. You seriously broke up and then you got back together? Trying to make it work? I gave it a 4.5 just for that. I got so mad at the ending. It's like, yeah, you didn't expect to fall for him. Just the fact that she chose Peter back over John, it just really aggravated me. It really did. And I almost didn't want to read the last book because of this. Also in the second book, we got a new character who's coming into play. Her sister Kitty is kind of visiting the neighbor a whole lot more, Miss Rothschild. And they decide that, I loved this aspect of the story because this seemed kind of realistic, but also very unexpected. It's like a second plot line to the story, and I really did enjoy it. So they're like, their dad's been single long enough, let's just try to get him a date. So they opened up dating sites and stuff, which is something, I would have done if, I knew my parents wanted to do that kind of thing. I thought it was too funny how Kitty was like, she's like, it's her. I want him to date her. It was so funny and so cute at the same time. But you realize Kitty was only 2 when her mother passed away. So I kind of get why Kitty was so attached to her and wanted her in their lives a lot more. It's like, I like her. I think she'd be a good mom. I agree. I think she's a very nice lady. And Miss Rothschild, she kind of comes into the girls' lives slowly at first. They kind of get roped into asking their dad to ask her out on a date. And she said yes. And then we're going from there. So, in the third book, Always and Forever by Lara Jean, this one got a 4.25. And I'm about to explain why. This one is more about a slice of life, Lara Jean going through her senior year. So this is a big year. They're applying to colleges. They're hoping for certain ones. Lara Jean ends up not getting to the college that she wants. And I'll admit, that's hard. In this one, I kind of understand where Lara Jean's coming from because in this book, she kind of feels like the ugly duckling. Everyone gets to go over to the college that they wanted and that they got into, that she would have killed to get into, and just she's the odd one out. And people don't know why she didn't get accepted in there. Turns out that things happen for a reason. I kind of wasn't attached to this one because of what happened in the second book. I was rooting for John. I'm like, give me something here. And she was still latched on to Peter, and all this stuff is happening with his lacrosse, and he can't be there for her as much anymore. I'm like, this is just one red flag after another. I know they're in high school, and I know they're young, and they're gonna start doing different experiences and things. But I gotta admit, the dedication that he does for Lara Jean in this one did move me quite a bit, and some of the things he did for her were really, really sweet. I still didn't connect with the chemistry between these two. It felt weird. It's like a jog being with the peppy K-pop girl. That's pretty much what the theme was like for this. And I thought it was cute if the chemistry was there. For me, it just didn't work. I know that's a very unpopular opinion. But just how the whole thing got started, and to be honest, Peter as a character, I just didn't like him. I liked John better. John was my golden retriever. So I was disappointed from the get-go with this one. I'm like, God dang it! For this one, not only that, but Margot, when she comes home and she realizes that Miss Rothschild is a thing, realizing how serious they're getting, and then some real life stuff starts happening, she's just like, what did I come home to? And that I also have to understand. I really, really understand that too. It's like you come home and like everything's completely different. There's new stuff everywhere. You're like, is this even my same home? It's very, very aggravating to do with. So I do understand where Margot's coming from too, which is why fights between them, bickering as much as they did, I understood, and I kind of just took them with a grain of salt. I'm like, yeah, I see her point and why she's upset, so can't really be mad at that. But she lightens up bit by bit, not by much, but enough. And Lara Jean, I think, I hate to say this, and this may be just a me thing as well, but dealing with Peter, the way that the book was going to end, them starting up something that they kind of weren't ready for, and how that ended, I'll admit, that was a little pretty bad. But, you know, the breaking up part, I had hope that it would stay broken up so that she could, like, have her time at college and, like, have an epilogue here saying, like, she's having so much fun, and then, you know, she meets somebody new and all this other stuff. I thought that was going to happen, but then we get Peter right back into everything again. I'm like, man, I wasn't feeling it. And despite everything unrelated to Peter, everything not relating to that, I really enjoyed the books. Like I said, I read them each in a day. This one, literally a day. I loved them. I really, really loved them. They're very bingeable. I love Jenny Han's writing. I do intend on reading The Summer She Turned Pretty and anything else that she's written so far. I think she's written a couple more things. But I'm looking forward to reading them. I think this one was my least favorite out of all of them, and my most favorite was P.S. I Still Love You. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed having someone else in it who kind of came along and showed her like how she could be treated, and that her with Peter doesn't have to be complicated. So I enjoyed this one a lot more. But overall, I'm giving this series like a 4.75. It's up there. Not one of my top favorites, but it's still really, really good. And I do intend on watching each of the movies pretty soon. I really, really enjoyed it, going through the whole series, all Lara Jean's high school problems to her sister's problems. Those were relatable because I have a sister. So I enjoyed the series as a whole. I thought it was really, really cute. Really good story. Second favorite. Last one, not my favorite at all. Would I reread this again? Maybe. Would I recommend this? Absolutely. If you guys haven't read this yet, definitely read these. These are so good. Very bingeable, very easy bingeable writing. I really, really enjoyed this, and I am really looking forward to reading A Summer I Turned Pretty. I do, however, I will be looking for this, but we have the 2 movie covers, and then I have the little oddball out. I don't know whether I should get the other movie cover or if I should go with the original covers. I think that'll be determined if I like the movies. If I enjoy the movies, then I think I'll keep the movie covers, and if I don't, and I think that it goes off and that some of the characters weren't how I pictured them, then I'll probably stick with the original covers and just find the covers as I go. So I did want to let you guys know, this is kind of also a life update / channel update at the end of this. Since we're done talking about the series, I've told you guys my thoughts, some of my favorite scenes, and just the chaoticness. It is crazy, but I enjoyed it. I really did. I recently started up a second channel. It's called The Librarian Critic. I have decided I love watching movie adaptations of books. I have loved them for years. I've been holding off on watching so many movies so that I can read the book first and then watch the movie. I have decided that I was going to start up my other YouTube channel, and that is what I am going to base that channel off of. We're going to be doing movie adaptations of books. Probably my first one will be of this series. So I don't know if it'll be this week. I don't know if it'll be next week. But I have to get some of my channel stuff up and running. Some of the movies that I want to watch set up. Figure out how I'm going to do it. I haven't decided if I want to watch the movie and then, film me literally watching the movie the whole way through. I don't know if I want to do that. So I don't really know how I want to do it. So if you guys have some recommendations, or if there's something specific that you guys want to see, please let me know in the comments. I would love to have some feedback before I decide to start my first video on that channel. I am super excited to start this part because it's something I'm very, very passionate about, just as much as I am about reading. I love watching book to screen adaptations. Absolutely love them. So please let me know if you guys have any recommendations for that. Please like and subscribe. That would help me bring you guys more videos every week. Thank you for staying as long as you have on this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I certainly did, making the series completion video. I feel like I closed a big chapter and I've started my journey on Jenny Han. I am very, very excited for this. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Love your reads and drink your teas.